Did you ever want to be a private detective? I got to admit, at one point, I thought it was great. You know, those film noir private detectives with a hat and a trench coat going out into the rain. That all sounds lovely in the films, but doesn't sound so much fun when I say it right now. But it's kind of fun to come into a company, and I do a major survey as soon as I start working with a company. And I have a list of questions and a list of things that I'm interested in. But I'm less interested in the answers of the questions. I'm more interested in how they're answered. It allows me to become a detective on how the company's working and how the company actually becomes the next level, or not. Difficulty scaling is identified in so many ways. I'll have a conversation with the marketing department and they'll send me their tracking document, which is just an Excel spreadsheet that they put some numbers in, and they may miss it occasionally. Or their marketing systems are all done on paper, or I'll have Sarah talk to you about that because she's the only one that knows that. All of these are major red flags because in all reality, when you're starting out, you're just trying to get it done. You're trying to get it done as quickly and fast as possible to get some people in, to get some customers, to get some money in, to get everything paid. What happens is you grow like that to a certain point and then you hit the wall. And what got you to this point is not going to get you any further. You hit the first $1 million and you're all excited thinking, oh, well, we just have to duplicate that effort. But in all reality, the duplication of that effort is so much more difficult and practically impossible because once you hit the $1 million and you've actually figured out what the company actually does and how it sells and how it works and all of those things, that internal focus is taking you so long to do, you just think, oh, we'll just do it more and more. But in all reality, what happens is the systems you created, the ad hoc systems and the Excel spreadsheets and, the notes on the piece of paper and the institutional knowledge that you have and the individuals who've done it before can't just duplicate themselves. All of the ad hoc processes that you got to your first $1 million aren't going to get you to your 3 million. And in fact, there's a way of thinking through each one of these levels. And I'm happy to do a video on that if people are interested. Leave some comments below. But what we've done in each one of the levels is we build it to the minimum level necessary, opposed to setting up systems that actually grow with our company. Many times when I'm having these discussions, we find that the Excel spreadsheet that everyone thought was being filled out hasn't been, or the KPIs that people have created because they heard they needed KPIs, they just find out that no one's been filling them out. They've been looking at the same KPIs for a year. I'm kidding you not. Someone looked at the same KPI list for 52 weeks and didn't realize it was the same one. And part of that was a strategy system put in place. Part of that was just, people didn't think anyone was looking at it. Part of it was, I would tell you, they say, oh yes, we get a stats email every Friday. But I look back and I haven't seen a stats email sent out for almost a month and a half. So those systems tend to break down, especially if they're ad hoc and they're not clear. As we grow up, the difficulty in scaling marketing effects is exponential because now what happens if you double the number of people that are your customers in a month? Can your marketing handle it? Can your fulfillment handle it? Can your sales handle it? So not only do you want to make sure that you can scale, but you can scale at a rate that can be dealt with. If all of a sudden you go from 300 or 400 customers a week to 3,000 or 4,000 customers a week, that will nearly shut down the business and bankrupt the business. There has to be a scalable system. And when you get to a certain point, when all of a sudden all of your marketing seems to be going well, but you start to be slowing down, that's usually an indication that the systems that you've created are starting to get in the way. Most of the time it requires you as the head of marketing or you as the head of the organization to start looking in the opposite direction. The first $1 million, you're dealing with how you get it done, how all of the systems work, making sure you got the right people, making sure you got the right thing. But once you go past 1 million, you have to start looking outside, which forces the chief operating officer and the people who are running the company to think completely differently than they have for the first period of time. And what happens, we find, is in both marketing and companies, that switching between one and the other has a tendency to be lost. And a tendency to think, oh, well, it's worked like this, so we'll just do it twice as fast. One of my favorite comments is 11 women cannot have a child in 1 month. It has to be done in a period of time. The dirty secret about marketing scaling, the systems that you feel most comfortable with right now are the ones that are most likely to break under pressure. While you're focused on today's marketing metrics, your competitors are building automated, scalable systems that will let them leapfrog past you tomorrow. How many of your current marketing processes rely on tribal knowledge or manual intervention? Your inability to scale marketing efficiency isn't slowing your growth, it's creating a ceiling that will eventually become your company's defining limit. Each month you delay in building scalable systems, your programs are programming to fail. What we need to do is we need to understand that this is a continuous process. As you build the market, as you build the marketing, as you build the company, understand that these are continuous processes. One of the biggest things and red flags that I see is that there is only one person that knows how to do this. There is only one person that has created this process or does it on a regular basis. And when they leave or they like we like to say, win the lottery and decide not to work, they take that institutional knowledge away. They take the access, believe it or not, they take the access to the spreadsheet that was running the company. I had one CFO who left and no one could get into their passwords to get the spreadsheet that ran the company. Those kind of things stop companies in their tracks. So not only do you need to have a scalable systems, but you also have redundancy in the systems and redundancy in the people. It's making sure that the systems you're using are right, that the people that you're using understand what the importance of it is, and they're continuing to check back to make sure that this system is going to continue to work. Managing your customers on an Excel spreadsheet works for the first couple of hundred customers. But when you get 3,000 customers, that spreadsheet gets overwhelming and you need to move into a new system. Better to move it in at 1,000 than 3,000. Better to move it over a period of time to make sure it's right and bring it in before you need it. It's amazing how when a tool expands your ability, your business and your market expands as well. So setting that up and making sure that you have that scalability, making sure you have that redundancy, and making sure that the things that are critical to you are always set up to continue to expand will give you greater market share over a short period of time. So what I'd love you to do is I'd love you to take a look at the key documents and the key marketing strategies that you have and look at them in a different light. Look at them and say, if I had to double this tomorrow, could I do that? Does it make sense? If you're looking at buying Facebook ads, sometimes doubling it over a period of time, a short period of time, doesn't make much sense. Facebook ads don't scale as well as they used to. So does that mean that I need to be looking at different marketing techniques? Does that mean that I need to be searching for other people? What are the things that I can do to be able to continue to draw in customers by doubling that amount of work? And that's going to be a very interesting exercise for you to say, is that possible? Will that work? Can we test that out just to make sure? And then also the critical documents and the critical processes that you have, make sure someone else has that ability. We want to make sure that a company has the ability to move forward, and therefore creating something that allows you to be redundant and scalable will give you the peace of mind to know that you can continue to grow. Growth has its own pain points, but the last one is you don't want to be creating your own pain points. You want to be looking for different ways of being able to make sure that you're scalable. Now, I've spoken about strategic coach in the past. Strategic coach is something that I suggest any entrepreneur goes to. It's brilliant. And one of the things they talk about is don't do it 2x, do it 10x, 10 times your interest. 10 times, build a company that's 10 times as big. Because even if you don't hit the 10 times, you're going to do better than 2x. And it's easier to build something in a vaster scale than trying to do an incremental build. This difficulty in scaling will make you think about it much more if you have to worry about it in 10 times opposed to 2 times. So that's an interesting other technique to look at. Is like, what happens? How do we build it so it's 10 times bigger and 10 times more impressive? that difficulty in scaling all of a sudden becomes much more straightforward. Is it a much more strategic path? Is it something you're going to do quarter over quarter? Absolutely. Taking some time to look at the scalability of your system makes it very important and gives you the ability to do that over a period of time. So I'd love you to take a look and see where your scalability needs are. And if you've got a good tool or technique for scalability in the marketing systems, put it in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Want to transform your business with expert strategies? Schedule your strategy session today by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained. See you in the next video.